All right, we're back on the show. Next guest is joining us here, and it's a delight to meet successful authors, and we have one right here. Alisa Valdes is with us. She is a New York Times best-selling author. Hello.
Alisa, my goodness.
Look at you.
Oh, thanks.
But you're a mom and all that, too.
Yeah.
Are you famous at home?
You know what? My son really doesn't want to ever read anything I wrote, except I recently wrote a young adult novel that he really likes, so I'm super excited. But a lot of my other books I don't want him to read, so that's good.
Tell us about your famous New York Times.
Right. My first novel is called The Dirty Girls Social Club.
Love it.
And it's not
When is that
what it
gonna
sounds
be a
like.
movie?
It's interesting. It's been in development 4 different times, which is not unusual, I'm finding out, for books. There's kind of this development process. And I've learned a lot along the way, and I actually have formed my own production company here in Albuquerque. We're called Valdes Entertainment Enterprises, and we've partnered with Mar Vista Entertainment, which is the world's largest producer of made-for-TV movies out of LA.
Great.
And we are shopping it together in the next month or two to a bunch of different networks. We have a great screenwriter attached, Robin Shushan. And
good.
we want it to go to series. For a long time, we wanted to do movies, but it's kind of the golden age of TV right now, as far as scripted series.
And
So
there's
that's
many
where we
ways
want
to
to
get
go.
it on TV.
Yeah. So
And
fingers crossed.
If the show comes about, if you ever need a tall, gray-haired morning TV host kind of character,
We know who to call. Yep.
we know, or a charming co-host character,
Yes.
Yes.
if that should be in the show. I'm
Just in
just saying.
case.
We'll write it in. I should probably
You're
check
so
with my lawyer before I say that.
I know, she's here. I might as well grab it, you know?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I'm with you 100%. Can I just let our viewers know a little bit about your bio, because this is
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
major. You were named, not only are you a New York Times bestselling author and a USA Today bestselling author, you were named one of the nation's 25 most influential Hispanics by Time magazine. And you were called a Woman of the Year by Latina magazine. You're a graduate of APS, and you earned a bachelor's degree from Berklee College of Music and a master's in journalism from Columbia. And through all of this, you worked at the Boston Globe, the LA Times, this incredible career, and now you're back here living in Taylor Ranch. How did you end up in Albuquerque?
It sounds so much better when you describe my life. No.
It's incredible.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, I have a 13-year-old son, and when I was expecting him, I was living in LA and working in LA, and I kept thinking, I just want to get back to New Mexico, because that's where all my family is and my support network, and so I really wanted to do that. My mom is, she's, I think, 6th generation New Mexican. That's how we measure ourselves in this state, by the generations.
Exactly.
So I feel very rooted here, and was just happy to come back. A lot of kids who grow up in New Mexico have this sense, and I don't know if it's this way anymore, but when I was growing up, that big things are always happening somewhere else, that you have to leave to become somebody. And I kind of had that attitude and left and realized it's really not that great everywhere else. I mean, it's nice, but we don't appreciate our city sometimes. We have so much here, and it's great.
It's such
Happy
a
to be
great
back.
perspective, though, because you have reached to the heights of your career, and you're just getting started. It seems like,
I hope so. I hope so.
Now, you're working a lot with literacy.
Yes.
Spending a lot of time and effort there. Fill us in on what your activities are there.
Yeah, some Latino author friends and I were sitting around kind of moaning about why don't we have the book sales that other people have, and we started looking at the literacy statistics for Hispanics, and they're the lowest of the low, unfortunately. And I hadn't been aware of how dire the problem was. In the United States right now, a Hispanic woman is 13 times more likely to become a teen mom than she is to be a proficient prose reader, like a very good reader. She's 4 times more likely to commit suicide than to read well. And I thought, this is awful. I've got to do something about it.
Everything's on its head here.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's upside down.
It's bad, and it's bad for the guys too. So I have created an organization called the Latino Alliance for Literacy Advancement, LALA, and I'm very excited because the Albuquerque Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, which is a wonderful organization, they not only chose me to be their keynote speaker for their awards luncheon in September, but they also are talking about partnering with my literacy organization when we launch our pilot programs here in New Mexico, hopefully next year.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
And you're going to be a keynote speaker at an event coming up for the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
That is happening, a book signing,
Yes.
and that is happening on July 18th. You'll be signing a copy of your Dirty Girls Social Club.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little synopsis of the book? Just a little
Sure.
morsel.
Sounds so deliciously.
Dirty and yummy at the same
Yeah,
time.
right. It's a
And-
guilty pleasure. you
Yeah.
know?
It's your summer read.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you. The book is about, it's if there's a shorthand for it, if you've ever sort of seen movies or read books like The Joy Luck Club or
Sure.
Waiting to Exhale, it's kind of like that. It's about 6 diverse Latina friends all in Boston. And they're 28 years old. It's the 10th anniversary of them having met in college, and they're all kind of going through their own things in their lives, careers, men, family, all that kind of stuff, and they help each other through it. And it was kind of my way of, I'd been a journalist for many years and knew that what we call the Hispanic community in the United States is in some ways a fabrication of the U.S. Census Bureau. We put all these people into this category. They
Yeah.
come from Latin America, and Latin America is just as diverse as the whole world.
Sure.
You have people from all over the world who ended up there. So I wanted to show that diversity because I'd never really seen that in a book or in TV or anything. It was always presented as, either a Dominican or a Mexican background. And
Right.
so I tried to put as many of those things into the book as possible. And I think that's part of what made it work, because this was a book that people could identify with in Washington Heights in New York or in San Antonio, Texas. I called it a vitamin and a Twinkie. Because the Twinkie part is like the romance and the fashion and the fun, and then there's sort of these sociological issues underneath. My dad is a retired sociology professor from UNM. So that kind of underscores
So
everything I
that's
do.
the vitamin. That's the
the
good for you.
vitamin.
But you're hiding it within the
Yes.
confines of this really juicy.
It's like a cookie
Yes.
and a Diet Coke. They
Yeah.
cancel each other out, right?
Exactly. So basically the book doesn't exist.
Awesome.
That is fun. You're delightful. Now you're going to
Thank
do
you.
a book signing in July. I know we're a little ahead of this, but it's July 18th.
July 18th at the Hispanic Cultural Center from 5:30 to 7:30, I think. Is that right?
That's exactly right.
Yay!
You got it.
Well, I'm thrilled to meet you.
You guys should come. Come to the book
I
signing.
think you're kind of a big deal. So,
Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate
Alisa
that.
Valdes, New York Times bestselling author and Albuquerque resident. One of our cool people. That live
Super
here.
cool.
Yeah.
We're so glad
Thank
to
you,
have
Alisa.
You're very kind.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more Morning Brew from the couch in just a sec.